Look, producing food in such uncertain markets and winds coming from all directions, you become very good as a farmer or grower at learning how to pivot, and sometimes very quickly. It is, of course, with the knowledge passed on via the amazing rural professionals operating in New Zealand's primary industries that we can be thankful for the trusted sources of information, of course, as well as Farmers Weekly, summarising what you need to know, because there is so much complex science and policy constantly being thrown at the industry, from greenhouse gas emissions and our freshwater policies, of course, and even simply down to how to turn the mic off on that Zoom call when you're yelling at the dogs. We welcome now to Sarah's Country, recently appointed chair, well, no, I suppose it's been some time now, into an organisation known as the New Zealand Institute of Primary Industry Management, Carla Muller. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on Sarah's Country. Now, Carla, what has been some of those key points of interest rural professionals have been wanting to grasp their knowledge on recently to help farmers?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having us on the show. For us, at the moment, there's probably three things that I would say are top of the mind. One is still around financial impacts, understanding both for the RP's own businesses, but also for their farming clients, what this all means, what the market changes are doing, and how the drought, how the feed impacts playing out, how they're able to get stock away to the works. Add to that the regulatory changes. As you said, there's still a lot going on in the background: greenhouse gases, water, biosecurity, animal welfare. And then you throw on top of that all of the changes that are coming down the pipeline at a rapid rate of knots around changes in legislation around COVID-19 and what you can and can't do on farm at the moment. The third one, top of the mind for everyone, is health, safety and wellbeing. How do we keep both our consultants, our farmers and growers safe, our animals safe, but also our essential businesses like pack houses? How do we protect them to make sure that they're still working through this?
Now, one of the other things I really like about what the organisation does is the certifications that you create for rural professionals. Can you tell us a little bit about them, and how can farmers and growers sort of know if the rural professional person has been certified in a certain area?
Fantastic. So that's an area that's growing at the moment, and our view is that just like any other professional service, it's critical to be able to demonstrate as a professional that you are up to a certain standard and that you have a process in place for your own development, for keeping up to date, but also essentially a backstop in case anything goes wrong. So there's a complaints process and a code of ethics. We've started to roll out some certification schemes. We have some up and running now, like the Dairy Farm System Certification Scheme, and others that are still in development, such as the Farm Environment Plan Certification Scheme. Our hope is to bring all of these together so that farmers essentially have a one-stop shop to know who to go to for what, and we're working through that. But it's a slow process, as you can admit, with things getting in the way all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen an uptake, this is prior to the lockdown, in people attending more webinars than actual physical events as a bit of a trend, naturally anyway?
Yeah, we've certainly seen that. We started doing webinars a couple of years ago, and we've certainly noticed a big uptake in them. And we're particularly seeing that from areas that might not have as much coverage with events, so particularly, say, areas like Otago, which we don't necessarily hold a lot of physical events in, but we have the power to access those members through webinar. At the moment, we're running more and more webinars, and they're all being oversubscribed. Although, interestingly, it's how we get people to view the recordings afterwards as well, is also a challenge. So people definitely seem to like tuning in live. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally noticed that for sure in terms of what we do here as well. Carla, just to finish, tell us, our audience, whereabouts are you based? You're on a farm up in the North Island?
Yes, I am. I actually am with my partner up on a farm right at the top of the East Cape. So pretty much as far up the East Cape as you can go. So we're struggling with a lot of things ourselves: rural isolation, connectivity, issues that a lot of people are struggling with. Local supermarket for us, we have a 4 square locally, but supermarkets is a 5-hour round trip. So all of a sudden it becomes quite challenging to access certain services.
And you're able to happily work remotely? You've got a good setup there?
Yeah, I'm very lucky that I actually do most of my work remotely, so I'm used to this. It feels kind of like everyone's catching up with the secret that I've known. No commuting times. It's great.
Oh, it's excellent. Absolutely. 100%. I think there's going to be a few new work sort of conditions built into contracts going forward. Thank you so much. That's the chair of the NZIPIM, known as the New Zealand Institute for Primary Industries Management, Carla Muller, joining us from the tip of the East Cape.
This is Sarah's Country.